I'm gonna give y'all a break from cussing y'all out and talking to y'all any kind of way about the tea. But real talk, get into this sea moss. Y'all know I've been on a health and wellness journey as of the last year and a half, 2 years, and sea moss is one of the things that I've added to my routine. You can drop it in your tea, you can eat it raw, you can drop it in your juice, but it is really good for your health, for your skin, for your overall well-being. Drop down in the description box. Click the link to purchase this product. Try it for yourself. I'm telling you, it really will change the way you look and feel.
Nessa girl, I'm not gonna tell you no lie. It took me 3 days to get through these last three missing episodes of Medicine Wives, but I just got to it, and I'm gonna review this last episode of Medicine Wives so I can try to stay on track. So, do y'all hoes want to talk about it? Here you go. So girl, I just got through watching this last episode of Medicine Wives, and I must say, of all the girls' trips across all the Bravo shows that I've ever reviewed across all of the years, I want to say that I enjoyed this one the most. Now, I want to take a moment, take a beat, and I want to pause, and I want to say welcome to Audra, because I did not do the last two episodes prior to this one, when they introduced us to real estate attorney Audra, who they brought in through Dr. Heavenly. And I must say, Audra was in Miami one time, and I, Dr. Heavenly, and Audra's husband, we went to Joe's Stone Crab. We ate. We had an amazing time. I really enjoyed Audra. I really like what Audra brings to the show thus far. Honestly and truthfully, she, in my opinion, fits right on in and feels less random being there than Carrie Wells. Like, at this point, Carrie honestly must be working for free or like must have a hookup with the airlines, because I just don't understand why she's there nor what her contribution is, but that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother episode. I just felt it prudent that I say something about Audra, because I hate that I did not review the episode in which Audra was actually introduced to the crowd so I could go up for her properly the way I would have liked to. But I like Audra a lot. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what y'all think about Audra. You know what? Before I get into this episode, let me not sit here and pretend like I didn't watch the other two episodes. I'm going to tell you what I didn't like. And Toya did the whole Giselle thing. When they brought Audra to the group, you know what I'm saying? Automatically throwing shade. Oh, well, you're not a good real estate attorney. Now, granted, there might have been some editing. There might have been some back and forth before that led to Toya saying that. But it's just like, damn, you came in starting with the damn girl. Then they go to Simone's bedroom where Simone and Toya are talking. And she calling the girl Deidre, talking about what's her name again. And it's like, why is any of that necessary? I mean, Toya, you wouldn't like it if nobody was like, what's her name again? Uncle Sam, 1-800-TAX relief. Like, you wouldn't like it if nobody was calling your ass debt collector Deidre. So why you want to call this girl out her name? Like, I just... Women, y'all are very weird creatures when it comes to y'all hierarchy and being friends. Everybody wants to be the queen bee, and everybody wants somebody to be a minion, especially Toya. Like, it feels like, remember when Anila came in, that was your whole issue, that Anila was not up under you. So then now Audra come in, and now you want to try to haze this girl, and she ain't the one for it. And I ain't even going to fast forward y'all, because obviously y'all know I know the people, and I know how the story ends. But baby, let me tell you, let me just put it this way. When it's all said and done, baby, Miss Audra wraps Toya up. Deidre, Audra, whatever you want to call her, wraps her ass up in a nice shiny bow and ships her ass off first day delivery via FedEx. At any rate, instead of me being Miss Cleo and telling y'all that's the future, let's get into the very last episode that aired this Sunday. So, The ladies get to dinner coming off the heels of Heavenly and Contessa getting into that big old argument at the breakfast/brunch. And Contessa wearing her red, looking all good. She says she wants to apologize to everybody, for showing up and messing up the dinner. I think that would have been a perfect time for Heavenly to have done the same, but she just sat there, kept drinking her Coca-Cola, please, or whatever it was she was drinking on, and the girls was like, Heavenly never apologizes. She never takes accountability. And we see later on in the episode that we do get something out of Heavenly that we haven't gotten across any of the seasons of this episode of this franchise. Heavenly and Toya get into a conversation about the breadwinner conversation. Now, for those of you guys who have been following me and my journey on Married to Medicine, or some of those of you guys who follow Dr. Heavenly and I's friendship outside of the show, y'all know that we kind of disagree with the gender roles thing. I think a lot of it is a bit archaic. When they were talking about the man supposed to be the breadwinner, he's supposed to be the breadwinner. The Bible says, the Bible says the man's supposed to be the breadwinner. And Toya mentions that, I guess metaphorically, breadwinner does not have to necessarily mean monetarily. And I get what Toya is saying. Well, Toya has to say that because at one point she was a kept housewife, and now her Married to Medicine salary is more than what Eugene makes in the hospital. So I can completely understand Toya for making that comment. Now, what's a little off to me was that Heavenly would be so staunch and not understanding Toya. Not that I'm counting Heavenly's coins, and not that I know what she and her husband make in their household, but I do know that Damon has 2 pain management practices. Heavenly has her dental practice, she has Heavenly Beauty, and then she has the additional $800 to $1 million a season that she's making from Married to Medicine. Now, independent of Married to Medicine, Dr. Damon may have been making more money than Dr. Heavenly. I know that Dr. Heavenly works part-time at her dental office because she enjoys having her freedom. But just my better judgment tells me that there was not an $800,000 income disparity between Dr. Heavenly and her husband. And so it's reasonable to assume that Dr. Heavenly makes more money than her husband as well. In this scenario, I may be wrong. I'm not in her financial business. I know I'm a former accountant, but I didn't file their taxes. I don't know. So it just felt a little weird to me that Heavenly just did not stand down in that situation when it looks as if she may actually be the financial breadwinner in her situation as well. Now, it may not have always been that way, but from the outside looking in, it definitely feels like it could be that way now. And while we're on the subject, the only reason why I think it's a bit archaic is a lot of people couple off in college, right? And let's just say, in college, you fall in love with somebody, you're a woman, and you fall in love with a guy that's an education major. You know what I'm saying? And he goes on to be a school teacher and then essentially goes on to be an assistant principal. And at the time, your major might be pre-med and you go on to be a doctor and y'all fall in love and end up getting married. I mean, is the marriage somehow not supposed to work because he's not the breadwinner because he pursued his passion and he's damn good at what it is he does? He's already putting in 50 hours a week at the school, pouring into our youth. Is he now supposed to go get a second job stocking shelves at night just so he can be the breadwinner at home? That's why it's a bit archaic to me and isn't always feasible or reasonable. And that's the only pushback that I give to when we hold on to tradition so staunchly without room for interpretation or room for creative metamorphosis. Like, some of that shit has to move and roll forward to where we are in 2022. When a lot of that stuff was written, women were not working, okay? I'll be the first person to tell y'all, my grandma on my daddy's side, she used to always tell me and my sister, if a man ain't beating your ass, you better stay with him, regardless of if you was unhappy or not. And it took my stepmama to break down why she was saying that to us. Well, back in her day, women didn't work, and a man was the only way that she was able to eat. So basically, she was saying she didn't give a damn. If he was cheating on you, put up with it. If he was cussing your ass out, put up with it. If he wasn't coming home, put up with it. Just as long as he wasn't whooping your ass, stay with him. You see how archaic that is? And women ain't holding on to that no more. So some of these things, y'all, we have to reassess and adjust to meet us where we are as a civilization in 2022. Then Simone brings up, because they're doing the whole game, Simone asks the question about, do you have an issue with your husband having female friends? And I love Simone's explanation. Of course, sisters, mothers, aunts, cousins, whatever the case may be, just as long as there are boundaries. Here is my thing. I am of the belief that if a person has female or male friends before entering into this relationship with you, you have no grounds to tell them they need to cut that friend off. They can't hang out with that friend, especially when you look at people who like are doctors and dentists who are put in these small cohorts or whatever. I am pretty sure, for those of y'all who don't know what cohorts are, they're small groups when you go to like medical school or whatever. This class of 16 people, this is one cohort. These people who are specializing in spinal therapy, and it's 23 of them, that'll be a cohort. Those people tend to develop strong bonds that transcend graduation. You mean to tell me now, my lab partner, who I used to lean on during my hardest times in medical school, she can't call the house. I can't go have dinner with her. I can't go see her when she comes in town. That's a bunch of bullshit. That's insecurity. You know what I'm saying? Now, just as long as the friendship is folded into the marriage, I have no problem with it. And I know a lot of y'all gonna say, he ain't married, so how he talking? But I ain't gotta be married to be practical. You know what I'm saying? Just as long as you introduce your female friend to your wife or your male friend to your husband, and that they can feel out the energy and feel that it's platonic, and you fold everybody into the friendship, then there is nothing wrong with it. I'm sorry. I feel like when Dr. Heavenly screams out, nope, my man can't have no female friends, it comes off as extremely insecure, in my opinion. It just does. And that's because I am not of the belief that men and women cannot be friends without it getting sexual. Everybody don't want to have sex with every. Now, we honestly know the root of that question coming from Simone had to do with Cecil's relationship with Tammy. And Cecil was just dead ass wrong, because what Cecil did was marital neglect. He put Tammy before Simone, and unfortunately, because he did it for so long, he ended up having to cut Tammy out of his life completely, so he says, versus scaling back the relationship and figuring out a way to make it work between he, Simone, and Tammy. And you know what? While I'm not going to lie to you, I personally hated that Cecil and Tammy had to end their relationship, right? I hate it. At the same time, I recognize that your marriage and your commitment to your spouse should, and always should take priority to anybody else on the outside. But I am also of the school of thought that we are put on this earth for a very short time and are meant to experience as many soul ties, soulful connections with as many beautiful souls and beings on this planet as we can. The world is filled with billions of people. And to think that you're supposed to spend, the 60, 70, 80 years you put on this planet and only have this one soul song and dance with this one person, these 2 people, these 5 people, that's just not my belief system. You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, I want my soul to sing and dance with as many beautiful souls as it attracts while I am on this earth for this short amount of time. And please don't get it twisted. I'm not talking about sexually or romantically, but I'm talking about I want to experience the fullness and the robustness of people's spirit, of as many people's pleasant, beautiful energy as I can while I'm on this planet. And I do believe that that is something that Cecil and Tammy had. It was a beautiful soul experience. And you know what? Now that I'm talking through it, they experienced it, and maybe it was just supposed to be for a season and not a lifetime. Who's to say? But at least he can die and say, I experienced a beautiful song and dance in a platonic way with a friend named Tammy. Long story short, I do think men can have female friends and females can have male friends. Toya brings up the penis comment about, does the penis get any bigger? Now, let's do the math here. Toya never came out and said my husband has a little penis. All right? But asking does it get any bigger implies that it's, not big. Toya does a very good job of emasculating and embarrassing Eugene on this show. But yet y'all got the nerve to be mad with Anila and Kiran about the moving situation. If I was Eugene, when I saw this episode, I'd have knocked Toya ass upside her damn head. Okay? And I think once Toya sobered up and she got in that limousine and she realized the magnitude of what she said, then she tried to clean it up by saying, no, it's the right size. It's perfectly curated to fit her vagina, or however the hell she worded it. But nah, bitch, it was too late. You had done got full of that Patron. And another thing. Toya, you be running out when it's time to drink and you be like, do they got any Patron? Patron was only popularized by the hip hop industry through rap artists and rap videos. For those of us out there who are true drinkers and true liquor connoisseurs, Patron is actually bottom of the barrel Mexican piss. And you be asking for Patron so loud, like you asking for Dom Perignon or like the highest class, and it just makes you look so bougetto. Baby, there are so many other tequilas out there that will make you look so much more classy based and will make you actually look like you know what you're talking about when it comes to your liquor than asking for Patron, which they sell at the ghetto pool hall where they sell a $6.99 swai-fish, chicken wing, and shrimp and fries dinner with a side of hot sauce. Can you stop doing that out loud? Because you just making yourself look real dumb when you trying to be classy and bougie and not even knowing that you looking stupid by begging for Patron. They ain't got no Patron. They ain't got no Patron. Classy places don't have Patron, Toya. Alright? If you gonna be bougie for real. Like, you don't work. Take the time to figure this shit out. They get to the strip club. Now, baby, Miss Audra, we ain't seen much of you just yet. And I hate to say what I'm about to say because I met Audra's husband and I really enjoyed his company. I liked him a lot. But it might not be Eugene with the small dick. It might be Audra husband with the small dick, honey, because the way Audra ass was looking around when when that stripper came out, baby, Audra couldn't tell her up from down. Baby, I wanted to say, close your mouth before he sticks something in it. Mama was just like, she didn't know where the hell to look. Listen, either they drugged that out or Audra was just mind blown. Yes, God, Miss Audra, let me tell you something. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. If I was you, girl, I'd have slipped that man my number. I would have waited till them old hoes went to bed, and I would have went and saw what that thing was about, baby. Audra was like, are y'all seeing what I'm seeing? Yes, Audra, it's called a dick. A big black dick. Okay. That thing was funny to me. Then they got Dr. Heavenly, her own personal stripper. Now, y'all remember that time the Heavenly got mad when they put that stripper on Damon, or whatever the case may be. And they be doing that stuff on purpose to get the Heavenly, because Heavenly be acting all prudish sometimes, or whatever the case may be. But I love the fact that Heavenly was a good sport about it. We all know. And see, this is the beautiful thing about knowing your partner. I am more than positive, from what I know of Dr. Damon, that he could watch that episode and see Dr. Heavenly interacting with those gentlemen in that playful way and feel no way about it, because Heavenly don't let it be known her man could cheat on her. Her man could have 6 babies in the streets and she ain't going no damn where. Heavenly, Dr. Damon knows his wife would never violate him. And that's what makes it okay to go out and have fun. And I say that for all the women. Like, none of the women on this show give me that they would outright violate any of their husbands. And that is a positive thing in the direction of black love and strong marriages. The guys go boxing. You know, this is one of the few times where we see the guys just have their own thing. Like, normally the guys are accessories to the women, but, you know, this go round, there's been a few times they give the guys their own whole little situation or whatever. And this boxing situation was great. I'm glad that Kiran and Eugene were able to get back on track. I like the fact that the guys have a commitment to, let's let the women fight. Let us keep our thing intact. Sometimes when the women don't get along, we might not be able to see each other or whatever the case may be. But, you know, let's keep our thing intact. Now listen, and I know Quad is not going to appreciate this because Quad is my friend. I am Quad's friend. There's no secret about it. But I'm just speaking from a viewer's perspective, in a producer's mind perspective. Dr. G has now been seen on Instagram with his new girlfriend, who is if I'm not mistaken, she does something in like medical insurance, medical billing, medical coding, something on the administrative side of medicine. From what I've heard through the grapevine, Dr. G was once a part of this male friend group. Not that I want any emotional distress or pain to be inflicted upon my friend. Friendship aside, it would make great television if the guys brought Dr. G back in the fold and subsequently, through Simone, this new woman gets introduced to the friend group. That would make for very interesting television. That'd be some damn good TV. I'm just putting it out there. That would be some good ass damn TV. Y'all want to get them ratings up and y'all want a bitch eyes glued to the motherfucking screen. Okay, to the screen. Not the screen, the scream. Okay, it would be that scene, bitch, when Miss Quad and the new lady got to sit across from each other down to the table at the restaurant, honey. That would be, and then y'all start playing the game about what works in relationships and don't work in relationships. Baby, y'all ass will fuck around and win an Emmy for that. And if I see my idea pop up on the screen next season, I'm suing y'all ass like Nene did. And my case ain't gonna be dismissed without prejudice. Okay, matter of fact, y'all gonna pay me out quietly like y'all did Mariah. Catch. The next morning, after the women hang out at the strip club, Dr. Refresh was there. They got their IVs. I told y'all, I swear by IV therapy. I was just there. To be quite honest with y'all, I am surprised. Can y'all see my hand, my arm? I'm surprised I don't look like a goddamn heroin addict with track marks as much as I go get damn IV therapy, because I go on average about once a week. Shouts out to Nouveau You and Beauty by Nouveau You. That's where I go to get my IV treatments. They're right here up the street from my house. Get me right. Get me hydrated. I went and got a cold and flu one yesterday because I wasn't feeling really good. Got me feeling much better. Child, while I'm riding and talking about got me feeling much better, must not be because my nose still there running. Nevertheless, honey, we do the best we can with what we got. Moving right along. The ladies started reminiscing about the night. And Dr. Heavenly asked Simone for the video of her dancing with the strippers. And Simone says, nope, she's going to edit it. And she is going to have it play on a projector at her screen to show Heavenly what a video about friends should look like. And then, you know, it left me in a position shaking my head. And then the ladies start sitting down and they start talking. And the ladies bring up, Contessa and Simone, they bring up that they recognize that the intervention that they had with Heavenly was an ambush. And they apologized for it. And that was big of them. And here's the thing. Like Quant said during that episode, that intervention was not to get through to Heavenly. It was to get at Heavenly. And it was. And it was much deserved. Okay? But what they had in that executive suite while eating breakfast was a true intervention. They actually got through to Heavenly. Heavenly started crying. Heavenly opened up and she shared a large part of her personality. And like I told y'all, during that episode when they were playing the videos on the screen and she was laughing, she was not laughing at them. It was nervous laughter. And she shared that in that moment. She was like, you know, sometimes I laugh. When you're used to being picked on and bullied, sometimes you attack first. You know, we all carry our childhood traumas with us through our adult years. And I will say this because I know her personally and I know her heart. To know Heavenly is to love Heavenly. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, all of those women on that show have known her longer and have spent more time with her cumulatively than I have. I don't know if she and I have just connected quicker because we're from the same place. We have similar backgrounds, and we understand each other, and there's no competition because I'm male, she's female, I'm gay, she's straight. I don't know why it is that we're kindred spirits in that regard, but to know Heavenly is to love Heavenly. Heavenly is not she's not a nasty person. She's not a nasty person. Does she overstep boundaries? Sure. Does she talk too much at times? Sure. Does she keep it real at the expense of other people at times? Most definitely. But she's also the same person that any one of those ladies could call and ask for anything, and she would give it to them. She's a good person deep down inside. To know her is to love her, and I think the audience as well as the ladies got to see a part of that. I mean, even Toya softened up a bit to Heavenly during that episode. It's just unfortunate though, because much like the ladies say before in the past, Heavenly apologizes and goes back to her old behaviors. It looks as if I don't know how any of the ladies feel about this season's YouTube videos. I have not seen any of Dr. Heavenly's YouTube videos from this season. Y'all would have to drop down in the comments and tell me. I would like and hope to think that after getting in trouble about her YouTube videos, the way that she was doing them, that she would have switched up her format a little bit and been less talkative about her girlfriends and more review-like about the show, and not take this attitude of, I'm just answering the questions the people want to know, or I'm just talking about what's on the show. I honestly hope that her reviews have changed, but I can't speak to that because I have not seen any of them. But you have to give it to her. Her being vulnerable and showing the ladies and the audience the true her and showing her heart was big. And I think that might be the first time in 9 seasons that we got that much of Heavenly. I mean, listen, if you understand people well, and I think that's one gift that I have is just understanding people well, and being able to see through people and see why people are the way they are and have compassion for them. Heavenly really is not a hard nut to crack. She really isn't. And my experience has taught me that people who are the most mouthy, the biggest bullies, you know what I'm saying, the hardest people are truly the softest ones in the group. And that's why they must be the way they are. I don't want to get too eon with it, y'all, but that's what I got on these medicine wives. They ass back in the ATL, and I'll be in Atlanta for a week coming up this week. God knows I'm not looking forward to it. At any rate, that's all I got. Ain't got no more. Y'all be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll call y'all later. Bye.